Hey Saber fans, just wanted to show off my Quigon Jinn that I'm putting up for auction or for sale. Um, really hate getting rid of this. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the oldest in my collection too. Um, as far as cannon hilts, I have some MHS sabers that I build, and all that stuff. I can go on and on, but this is one of my favorites that came from. This is from the first run of KR and OR working on the Qui-Gon Jinn hilt, and it is so nice. It's got really nice heft to it. It's big, as it would be. I mean, you have to imagine Liam Neeson was holding this thing, so it's actually to scale. And it's got some great features about it. Number one, the deep grooves, very accurate to the movie. The grooves in a lot of other copies were not as deep because they couldn't get the electronics in. So this is a very well thought out, well planned out design by KR and OR. And so what you have here is an anodized black body, basically, with a aluminum shell that is actually removable. You can take this Allen key, take this cover tech knob off, take the back pommel off on screws. You can slide that off, and actually, every once in a while I do that just to polish it up. I actually use, I can find it here. This is the best stuff in the world right here. This is Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. Some really good stuff. I really like this, and it does wonders on aluminum. It's in excellent condition. As I said, there's no no dents or damage to it whatsoever. There is one little ding right there, which is reflected in the price. Otherwise, I'd be asking for a lot more. But let me show you a couple of the cool features about it before I fire it up. Number one, unscrew the pommel. This has a green amber tri-cray, so you have a green with flash on clash, amber flash on clash. There's the recharge port for your 2.1mm recharge. You have access to the SD card if you pull it out further. I don't like pulling it out too far because it is a tricky install to get everything in here. You got a 28mm speaker. It is nice and loud. It has 3 fonts, all with Qui-Gon Jinn, or shall I say Liam Neeson fonts, quotes on them. The button is very interesting. For shipping, this is a beautiful design, what they did for shipping. This button obviously would have been impossible to keep from being pressed by just wrapping it in bubble wrap. So what they did is they made this button screwable here, so where you can take it off. It's just a regular screw, and the plunger is down in there, so you can't turn it on unless you have it screwed in. And it's a pretty genius idea, I think. Anyway, I wish more switches were made like that, to be honest with you. It is a very strong metal button. There's no plastic on this. We also have a 1.5 miller hex 1.5 miller hex head here. We can take that. We could undo. I have an accurate blade plug for this installed. Take that out. There's your blade plug. If you look up in there, I hope you can see. You can see the green amber tri-cray. And what I'll do is I'll I'll pop up. I'll spin it around a little bit. I don't have the room here under the camera. I'll spin it around here just to show you some of the sound fonts and swing sensitivity. Excuse me once again. I do have a cold, so I sound kind of nasally. So excuse my voice. It's pretty clean. It's been sitting on a shelf for a very long time. As a display piece, I fire it up once in a while just to make sure everything's running. And but it is a display piece that I used on one of my stands, and I really enjoyed having it. But I'm moving on to some other projects that I want to get done. So anyway, let's fire it up.
Feel, don't think. Use your instincts.
Jinn there. It's the Nanobots version 4. I believe this was like right when the Nanobots version 4 first came out. I'll put a blade in and show you a little more of the flash on clash and stuff, but I just wanted to swing it around here. Another font, just press the button and hold it.
The negotiations will be short.
I love this font here. It's a Quigon sound font, but with a different boot up sound.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Something very cool from Liam needs in there. This is definitely combat worthy. Although, I mean, it's so beautiful that I don't know why you would want to smash the hell out of it. But you can beat up on it pretty good. One thing I did want to notice, what I noticed when I was getting ready to do this video, is I have several blades. And I noticed that my Vader's Vault blade, like for example, this is a 1-inch blade plug. This is supposed to take a 1-inch blade. So if I put this 1-inch blade plug in, look how nice and loose it is. It fits right in there. I can tighten it up. However, if I went to put my Vader's Vault 1-inch blade in and it was really, really tight. Now, if you run into that problem, you can just take a piece of sandpaper and take your blade and sand around until it fits in there nice and smooth for you. But I also have one of my favorite blades that I use is especially for dueling, is made from a company called sabers.com, S-A-B-R, or S-A-B, oh, excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold, S-A-B-E-R-Z.com, sabers.com. They sell a blade called the Starlight blade, and here it is here. This is mine. This is a pretty heavy-duty blade. It's a I wouldn't call it a thick-walled blade, but I wouldn't call it a thin-walled blade either. But it's got dual diffusion inside, a parabolic tip, and it's really nice. But the main thing I noticed, though, is that it fits perfect. It fits perfectly in this particular hilt. So some hilts claim to be 1-inch. Some hilts are 1-inch, or a little over 7/8. But if I put this in here, tighten up the screw, I can give you a better idea of the color that you're going to get out of this. The green is phenomenal. It travels the length of the blade, and that's including any blade you put in it, because I did have the Vader's Vault stuck in there. I mean, it wasn't stuck, but I did jam it in there just to get it to work, and it lights up brilliantly. So I'm in full light, by the way, underneath this camera, so you can see how bright that is. I mean, there's the amber flash on clash. Take that off. So, what's coming with the saber? You're probably thinking, how much does this cost? What's going to come with it? I think I'm going to go very reasonable on this. Very reasonable on this, considering what I paid for it and how much I have into it. I'm going to let this go probably somewhere in the $375 range. That's going to include the hilt, the blade plug, which I'm installing back in, and it's going to come with a charger for your 2.1 millimeter charge port. So it's going to come with a charger. It's going to come with your blade plug. I'm even going to give you an extra Allen key. I'm not going to give up my tool. I'll give it a 1.5 millimeter Allen key for that. The other thing I'm going to do is when I ship this, just so you know, the button will be taken off so it doesn't activate during shipping. because there's really no need to put a kill plug in that when it's got deep sleep. All you have to do is keep it from activating. And then what I can do is I can stick this button in there, maybe a little piece of foam on top of it, and put it in there, and then your button will be in there ready for you. You could just take it out when you unscrew, pull your blade plug out, and your button will be ready. And screw it in, you'll be able to fire it right up. And screws in very easily, so you shouldn't have to worry about any cross threading or anything like that. Just take your time. I'll clean it up as best I can as well. It's just a little dusty. I mean, it's black and it shows up every little bit of dust. I'm sure in the pictures, I took pictures before I did this video, so I'm sure in the pictures we'll see some dust.